And the title of the article is Gran Killed by Blind Driver as She Crossed the Road. And this happened in October of this year. It says Jordan Horder, 29, was suffering from deteriorating eyesight when his car collided with Mary Phillips, 72, as she walked across a crossing. So basically what this article covers is, a grandmother was killed after she was hit with a car while crossing the road because the driver of the vehicle that hit her didn't see her because he has deteriorating eyesight. He was blind in one eye. The family's heartbroken. She was 72 years old. The driver, like I said, he was 29 years old. He had a number of visual impairments and was effectively blind in one eye when he fatally struck Miss Phillips with his car. He didn't see the victim until she hit his windscreen. After the collision, he stopped and called the ambulance. When it comes to the details of it, the lights were green, so the driver had a green light, but Miss Phillips was crossing the road during that green light. But, people at the scene said that, legitimate criticisms could be made of the defendant. He failed to see the deceased. He failed to keep a proper lookout, failed to steer his car to avoid her, and failed to brake. The underlying cause of all these failures is he failed to keep his eyesight under adequate review ongoing at the time. He failed a number plate test at sufficient levels to keep eyesight acuity. It was a wholly avoidable accident, and a fatal road traffic collision occurred because he drove carelessly. He wasn't speeding or anything like that. The defendant was said to have significant eyesight issues since he was a teenager and had surgery on his right eye in 2007. An optometrist said the driver was basically blind in one eye and needed contact lenses in his other eye. And in 2020, he failed an eye test and was advised to not drive. But in August that year, he was regarded as fit to drive. And that was in 2020. And then by December 2020, his eyesight had deteriorated and he was found to not be fit to drive. But his license was not revoked. So they didn't take his license away. They said he wasn't fit, but they didn't take his license away. And he kept driving. And this is why I quit driving. This is like a nightmare. What I just read is a complete nightmare. I hope the family's doing all right. They lost their grandma and mom. They lost a family member. Yeah, so I hung up the keys. That's my fear. Whenever I was still driving, I thought that this could happen. I totally thought it was possible to happen, and I have better vision than what this driver has, and I know some people who still drive, with, RP and vision loss. My sister being one of them. Even both of my grandfathers, one of my grandfathers has passed, but he still drove and he was blind in one eye and he had macular degeneration in his other eye. And then one of my other grandfathers still drives and he has macular degeneration, is basically blind in one eye, which, by the way, macular degeneration is recessive. So I may have to deal with macular degeneration and RP as I age. So that'll be fun. Back to the topic, should the driver have been driving? It doesn't sound like he was advised to be driving, but still was. And he didn't see the lady crossing the street at all and just hit her, whereas someone with eyesight would have seen her. That's the reality. That's the facts. Should she have been crossing during a green light? No. But I think the critiques of the driver not seeing her and being able to adjust and maneuver and prevent it is very, very fair. Yeah, I'm personally under the opinion of if you have, vision loss, significant vision loss, that you shouldn't drive because it's so dangerous to drive. It'd be one thing if you were only putting your life at risk, but when you're out on the road, you're putting others' lives at risk, other families in cars, people going about their day who don't expect an accident, getting accidents all the time. And it would be a shame if it could be prevented like this situation. And, I think the reason why people still drive with significant vision loss is because, this situation happened in the UK. But, here in America, it's like the world is driving heavy. So if you can't drive, to be honest with you, like it's a huge disadvantage. And, that's why people hold on to driving for longer than they should. Because, society is built around driving. So I get it. You want your independence. You don't want that taken away from you. And most places in the world revolve around driving a vehicle to get from point A to point B. You take that away, there's your loss of independence. And therefore, a lot of what you do in your life and your lifestyle will have to change. I understand the difficulties of that, which is why I'm a big advocate for public transit and Ubers, taxis, anything that's improving, helping people get around if they don't even own a vehicle themselves, for people who can drive but can't afford to have a car or whatever. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the point of bringing that up is. I guess the point is like driving is dangerous, so I'm back on the road and I'm passenger side with my wife driving around busy Brooklyn, New York streets, New York highways. And it's scary. So yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? If you're listening, and for those out there listening, are you still driving? Or what year did you quit driving and what made you quit driving? I know I'm not the only one who had the fear of this real life incident happening. So I guess I wanted to bring up this story because it was a fear of mine. And now I know that fear is someone else's reality, which is very, very scary. I hope the driver is doing all right. I know that's got to be a mental game changer to have to deal with the fact that you killed someone with your vehicle. Especially, I know there has to be guilt that comes with that too, because you knew you were driving with, low vision. Yeah, I don't know. It's rough, but so if you're driving out there, be safe, be careful.